Yesterday, free speech warrior Elon Musk banned a whole bunch of journalists who had been critical of him on Twitter. It all started with Elon Jet, this account that tracked which city his jet was in. Well, it didn't start there. It started, I think, when Grimes dumped his ass. His reputation as a genius evaporated. He lost a whole bunch of money. One of his kids said that they didn't want anything to do with him, and he decided that this is the form that his midlife crisis should take. But this week, it started with Elon Jet. So this account, he had originally said he wasn't going to do anything about when he took over Twitter. He tweeted, "My commitment to free speech extends even to not banning the account following my plane, even though it is a direct personal safety risk," which it wasn't at that time. It's publicly available information, and the idea that someone is going to see a tweet from Elon Jet, go buy a Stinger missile launcher and shoot down a private jet seems a little bit far-fetched. There are probably easier ways to take out someone if that's what you wanted. But anyway, he did then go and ban that account. 180-degree turn from his previously stated position, and not a single one of his fans seems to have any problem with that whatsoever. But beyond that, he then goes to his personal account and he launches this PR offensive over the idea of him being doxxed. He said in a tweet, "Any account doxing real-time location info of anyone will be suspended as it is a physical safety violation, but that posting locations someone traveled to on a slightly delayed basis will be allowed." Bear that in mind as we go forward. Also remember that the plane tracking information lets you know what city, maybe what airport a person is at. It doesn't tell you specifically what coordinate they're at or anything like that. He goes on to call that information assassination coordinates. And people buy this stuff anyway. Then he goes on to claim that a crazy stalker in LA had blocked a car carrying his child X and jumped on the hood. He posted a video of an unknown man and asked his 121 million followers if anyone recognized the car or the person driving. And they did have a little bit of information to go on, because in the shot that he posted, you can see the man's license plate number, which arguably is doxing him. I don't know, maybe the context matters there. But in any event, things have developed fast. And last night, many prominent journalists on Twitter began to have their accounts seemingly permanently suspended. So you had, from Mashable, you have Matt Binder, you have CNN's Donnie O'Sullivan. They had shared the update from the LAPD on Musk's claim about this man attacking the car, saying that no crime report had been filed. Others merely tweeted about Musk's ban of Mastodon, one of the competitors to Twitter. Their Twitter account is now gone too. Ryan Mack of the New York Times was also banned. And then Keith Olbermann was banned, and Drew Harwell of the Washington Post, and Aaron Rupar, who shares videos that are critical of right-wing politicians and pundits from time to time. There were other people too, and we're gonna jump into a lot about this, but the crux of this conversation is that his cover story for the bannings of a number of reporters, including just a little bit ago, I believe a Daily Beast reporter was banned as well, who has for years been critical of Elon Musk, is that this is about doxing. Again, the plane stuff is not doxing. Sharing information about what happened apparently with the LAPD, I don't understand how that could be conceived of as in any way of having been about doxing. Nobody is at any of the places that any of the information was about. But that is the only excuse he has given. On the right, virtually everyone has accepted this as a perfect cover story for him to begin to ban any critical accounts of him. What do you all think about this?
Okay, so I've got a little bit of a nuanced reaction to it. So first of all, if the kid is using public information to track the jet, he should not be banned, and there's a reason why it's public information. Okay, if he's using private information, non-public information, well, I think then it's an open question. Okay, so that's point one. Point two is, I have to be honest with you, I hate it. I hate the tracking of his plane. No, John, you're right. Of course, nobody's going to get a Sting missile or a Stingray or whatever the hell the missile is called. You're not going to hire an Apache helicopter to go chase it. It's not a movie, right? But at the same time, okay, here's where he's landing. Here's where he's taking off. Why do we need to know that? Like, what value does that give us? What I'm worried about, and we've seen it a lot from the right wing, is lunatics who go, oh, you're telling me this information for a reason. Now, in this case, it wouldn't be necessarily from the right wing, because obviously Elon's a right winger, although you never know, because the right wing's so mentally unbalanced. But I don't want anybody, well, why are we tracking him? I don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't find any value in it, okay? So that's
some people make the case that there's theoretically business and investment value to knowing what cities he's visiting.
Okay, afterwards,
that's why for a very long time people have tracked the movements of like prominent football coaches and things like that, especially in college football.
Okay, fair. And by the way, if you find out half an hour later, okay, oh, so that coach went to University of Mississippi. I didn't know that. That's kind of interesting. You know, Elon wound up going to Shanghai. I wonder why he's in Shanghai. Okay, kind of interesting, right? But he landed just now in Shanghai, or well, Shanghai wouldn't be relevant, but in Fresno, if anyone is in Fresno. Like, why? I hate it, okay? So we can talk more about where I think the line should be there for both the left and the right. But the banning of the press for even writing about it. So are we gonna get banned for doing a video about it? And by the way, are Tim Pool and other weirdo right-wingers gonna get banned for doing videos about it or writing articles about it? No, of course not, right? No, it's selectively banning reporters he doesn't like. That's the most obvious thing in the world, okay? Secondly, Aaron Rupar didn't even write about it or do a video about it. Hashtag free Aaron Rupar, okay? So like, that was just like, plus I don't like this guy's videos, for no reason. And Aaron Rupar doesn't even do videos like us. He's not in the videos. He just shows videos of right-wingers, that's it. So apparently Elon Musk is so sensitive about the feelings of the right wing now, while pretending, my favorite thing is, I'm not on the right wing. By the way, left wingers are banned, journalists are banned, Nazis are allowed in, but I'm not on the right wing, Elon Musk says. So I've got way more on this, but also the bottom line here is Elon Musk is just like Donald Trump, thin-skinned, deeply insecure. Oh my God, what a man-child. And not at all a genius, as it turns out. I mean, if you ban left-wing and the journalists from Twitter, you know what you have? Truth Social, okay?
That's right.
And you're about to go from 44 billion, do you know what Truth Social's worth? Barely anything. So this is a Harvard case study, business case study on how to burn $44 billion.
Well, I mean, you bring up some really good points, Cenk, about why do we need to know this information. Most importantly, he claims that he is a free speech absolutist. He cares about everybody having free speech, putting this stuff out. The fact that he's deciding what doxing is and is not, he's defining it, he owns the platform. And this is a grown man having a temper tantrum worse than a toddler. I don't want to compare him to toddlers because I don't want to insult toddlers. Toddlers deserve respect. Toddlers' lives matter too, okay? So, but it's just what he is doing in the journalistic realm that should be problematic. We know that absolute power corrupts absolutely, and he is using his power in a very corrupt way. But the argument that you're making about why do we need to know this information, why is this important, does it trigger people who are easily triggered, is something that we should deal with.
Sure. Look, I don't need to know the information, but I also I don't care. I don't think that it's doing any harm, and I don't think it really matters for the purposes. Again, he did ban initially the Elon jet person, and then he went way beyond it. It wasn't fundamentally about the jet. And bear in mind, we've talked about the link between banned accounts and some of these pretexts that Elon Musk has used, but I want to be very clear. Not everybody who was banned had even mentioned either of those two things, the jets or whatever with the LAPD. That is not the case. The Washington Post looked into the recent activity. It is simply not true. That is what he is saying. It's a cover story, and I understand that in like the New York Times, they just take as a given that you might disagree with his methods, but it's clear that he's interested in free speech. They just accept every motivation he states. They say that is actually what he means. He couldn't possibly deceive us or anything. I believe he's just actively lying about. I think he has had a list of people that he's wanted to have banned. I think that some of the right wingers he follows have a list of people that they want banned from the service. We already know from some of the discovery in the court case about the purchase of Twitter, there were those text messages going back and forth. They were openly talking about one of the steps of him taking over would be the exiling of the blue checks, getting rid of this long list of people, ideally with a Blake Masters type in charge of the effort. So we already know that that has been planned. This is one step of it. There have been bannings since last night, by the way. That stuff is developing throughout the day, and I expect to see much more of it, especially if there isn't sustained horror at what he's doing. And again, I'm not gonna go in depth. I did it on the damage report. I don't believe that he can't do this. I don't believe it's a violation of the First Amendment or anything like that. It is simply a violation of everything he pretends to believe in and that the followers of him pretend to believe in. They can do it, it's a private company. However, he can't do it and not make a mockery of his supposed values, and he also can't do it and make Twitter a place that people want to actually be or that advertisers want to actually spend money advertising on.
He doesn't care about being a pretender. But he should be man enough to say, hey, I'm doing this just because I can. That I can accept, even if I don't like what he's doing, and stop making excuses about why he's doing what he's doing.
Yeah, look, there's two reasons why I've lost all respect for Elon Musk, whatever little respect I might have had. And by the way, back in the day, I did, and we even had a poll about him years ago, and I took the side of no, he's not a monster, and that was yet. It was, I don't know, 3 years ago or however long ago it was. And you could fault me for not seeing the future as well as some of the other hosts did, okay? But
you were giving them the benefit of the
doubt. I
doubt.
was, and now that benefit of the doubt is gone because now he's acted and now we can see. So he's a massive right-winger. Him pretending he's not right-wing is hilarious. It's absurd, right? You could, I mean, what is it? He's a poor man's Tim Pool, pretending to be a moderate, right? And pretending to be in the middle. It's hilarious. Him pretending to have principles. Elon, we could all see you, man. Like you say that you're doing it for doxing, but reporters didn't do any doxing at all. They just did the most normal news story of all time. It's super obvious you're banning them because you felt insulted by them. It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
We can all see it. I don't know if you think it's a dream or something. Like none of your justifications make any sense at all. You'd be way better going off with the Nina strategy of, yeah, so what? I can do it. What are you gonna do about it now? Is infinitely better than what you're doing now.
Yeah.
Because what you're doing now is humiliating, okay, to you. And like, oh yeah, I have principles. Okay, except I don't like those people. They're my fifis. Like you're crying in front of the whole nation. And by the way, when did all this thing start? It started after you got booed in front of Dave Chappelle's audience, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So that's where the feelings got caught. And then they were buried inside there. And he's like, oh yeah, all the people booing me and all my critics, you're bad, you're bad. Oh, it looks terrible, Jesus, man.
It is.
And then let alone the fact that everybody thought you were like a business genius, richest man in the world. And I know without a shadow of a doubt that Twitter was not worth a penny over 20 billion. I don't think it was worth a penny over 9 billion, but that's a debatable issue. Over 20, no, 44, and now you're just gonna turn it into Gitter? That's the worst business strategy I've ever seen. Look, by the way, one day we're gonna start a platform, and when we do, I'm thrilled that he's burning Twitter and completely destroying its value. If you say, hey, no left wingers allowed, no press allowed, no nothing, anyone who upsets the king is not allowed, the mad king, you're gonna have the world's worst platform. Okay, it's just gonna turn into the Daily Stormer. So go ahead, burn it, Elon, burn it. What do we care? We believe in freedom.
Yeah,
you wanna burn it? Go ahead and burn it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah, actually, speed it up, please. And if you wouldn't mind banning me, that would be great.
Oh, totally. I'm jealous I'm not on the list. Jesus. What does a brother have to do to get on a list?
Yeah. Anyway, that'll come.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.